All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. I want to send double honor to the elders, apostles, and bishops at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, and safeties to the hopeful elect Akim out there doing this work. Much love to the scattered elect and to the few sincere women that subscribe to the true doctrine. This is the brother you call him off with the Great Millstone Camp, the branch out here in Omaha, Nebraska, coming back with another lesson, Lord willing, to feed and to edify the lost sheep of the nation of Israel through the Holy Spirit, Racha Kodash. And Israelites consist of so-called Negroes, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans by the seed of your father, no matter what you may look like. And I want to get into this article that stemmed from a video that I came across today, and it is from AMGnews.com, which is American Media Group. All right, you see by the title. All right, and the video where it stems from is right here on Rumble from the People's Voice. All right, pretty good video, very informative. I'm not going to play it, but I will share the link in the description. Okay, so it says surveillance alert. Gil Bates unveils global digital ID to erase non-compliant humans from society. The surveillance state is here, right? And automatically, those of us that are keeping an eye on prophecy, that goes straight into the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter. Okay, the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter, and the 16th verse. All right, where it speaks about those that should not take the M0TB should be killed. All right, actually the 15th verse, Salakia. All right, and what they did in 2020, that was a trial run. All right, which you had everybody walking around on masks. Some people had to lose their jobs because of the so-called cure that they came up with for the 2020 agenda. All right, and it was just really seeing who was gonna be compliant and who wasn't. All right, and a lot of people lost their. No, I won't say a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people, some people lost their jobs. At least they got that cure that they came out with for the 2020. All right, which essentially, time passed and people didn't have to get it. All right, so a lot of people went and got that Jabberwocky and didn't need it. All right, didn't need it to keep their job. All right, so this is just another trial run. All right, and we're slowly but surely seeing this this digital form of cash is about to be a thing of reality. All right, but I want to start here in this precept like we always get. This is Revelation 13 and verse 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as should not would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Okay, now you will have the elect. They're not going to take that M0TB. All right, they're not going to take that Revelation 13 verse 16. So you will have some Israelites that will be martyred. All right, you will be martyred for refusing to comply with this technology. Okay, but also, it goes into how let's get the word killed. I bring this up from time to time, but this is just showing you that this is or kill rather, that the words of Yahweh Shem Shai, according to the book of, let's actually get that real quick, in the book of Sirach, or not Sirach, the book of Second Esdras. We're already here. Second Esdras and the 15th chapter. All right, I'm just gonna swipe. So Second Esdras 15, and where we at? I'll start at verse 1. It says, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy. And the people of the Lord are the so-called Negroes, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Americans. And it says to speak unto those people the words of prophecy. Prophecy meaning to say something before it happens, And this is what we're, starting with the elders and apostles here, Great Millstone, have been doing, starting with the elder apostle Tahar, 40 years, 40 years, the other apostles, 30 years, 35 years, and as we entered into their labors and we started to teach the same things, and guess what? We see them coming to pass. All right. So that's what prophecy is. And this is the prophecy of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, according to the book of Isaiah, the 42nd chapter, and the 9th verse, which I may get if the Spirit permits. All right. But it says, let's continue with this precept. It says, and behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. All right. And also I jumped the gun because it's not our words, it's the words of the Heavenly Father. And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. And that paper is talking about these holy scriptures, man. Okay. It says cause them to be written in paper. And this was written down by the holy prophets, as it says in the book of Psalms, that great was the company of those who published. Okay. I'm going to pull it up on my computer since I'm here. Right. It says great was the company. And Jeremiah was part of that, just going into how the Lord will put his words in our mouth. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai say he's going to put his words in Jeremiah's mouth to preach unto his people. Okay. So this is no different with the prophets that are here today, as the spirit of the prophets are subject unto the prophets, and those same men are back today. So this is Psalm 68. I'll just pull it up on the screen, just being extra. Psalms 68 and verse 11. All right, Psalm 68, verse 11, right? It says, the Lord gave the word. Great was the company of those that published it, all right? Which the words were given unto the holy prophets. And they wrote down what the Spirit gave them unction, okay? So, with the thermonuclear missiles, you had, the prophet Esdras, he called it the right aiming thunderbolt. Okay. Jeremiah called them arrows. All right. So, this is just what these men seen in their time. And, in this day and age, according to the book of Amos, the 3rd chapter and the 7th verse, we are able to interpret them in this day and age. All right. Just want to get one more precept, and then I'm going to jump into this, back into this article. I just got to see where this precept is. Let's see, because it says that the word was made known. Okay. I believe it's in the New Testament. I just forget where it's at. Yeah, here we go. This is Ephesians chapter 3. And where's a good spot? I'll start at verse 3. It says, I'll start at 2. It says, if ye have heard the dispensation of the grace of the Most High, which is given to me, to youward, how that by revelation he had made known unto me the mystery. All right, and a revelation means a revealing. All right. So, making something manifest. You have the entire book of Revelation. All right. So a revelation. Let's just confirm it real quick, and then we're gonna get back around to this article. Revelation. A revelation is from circa 1300, disclosure of information or knowledge to man by a divine or supernatural agency. Okay, which that divine or supernatural agency is Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, and this is going to prove it. All right, so back in Ephesians 3:3, it says how that by revelation he had made known unto me the mystery, as I wrote afore in few words, whereby when ye read, ye may understand my knowledge and the mystery of Hamashiach. All right, which the mystery, just these are the secrets that are that are revealed unto us via the revealing of these prophecies. All right, the true interpretation of the things that we read. All right, and it says, now this is the point, verse 5, it says, which in other ages was not made known unto the sons of men, as it is now revealed unto his apostles and prophets by the Spirit. Okay, so going back to the point with these men that the great company, these men were given these not revelations, but they were given these visions, and words were put into their mouths to speak and to write down in paper, so that they may now be interpreted in these days. All right. So now let's get back to the article. I'll pull this back up. So let's get into this article. All right, and I'll post a link as well to this. So once again, it says, surveillance alert. Gil Bates unveils global digital ID to erase non-compliant humans from society. The surveillance state is here. Okay, and they're already doing that with things such as with the Palantir, also the flock cameras, where it takes a picture of your license plate, and pretty much has all your information based off of taking a picture, runs your licenses and everything through the database. Okay, and you had a lot of people in certain places where these flock cameras were getting tickets, getting citations maybe for running lights, or something like traffic, not traffic violations, but unpunished traffic violations. And also it something that's very important about it, concerning the surveillance state, is that it takes track of the path that you take. It pretty much, like, let's say you travel by the police station to go from home to work every day. Well, they'll be tracking that. Okay, he went, he turned, instead of turning left, he turned right by the police station today. And they accumulate that. Okay, within this month, this individual turned left 53 times. All right, just throwing a random number out there. He turned 53 times by this station. He turned left 53 times by the station within the month, and he turned right by the police station 12 times. And it's just keeping track of your movement, as far as driving. All right, but let's get into this article. All right, because that's gonna well, let's just get into it. Let's just get into this. It says, surveillance alert. It says, this is not a drill. Gil Bates, the UN and global elites are rolling out a mandatory global digital ID system, from Britain's BRIC card to China's face scans, merging your money, health, and votes into one cage of total control. Okay, now that BRIC card, this is something that's very recent. Where you had the prime minister, I forget his name, Keir Starmer, I believe, where he rolled out this BRIC card, saying that if you want to work or even live in the UK, you have to get this card. All right, and I believe they even had an application for it, just in case you may not have a phone. So this is something that they're rolling out mandatory. Now I believe there was petitions against it. Let's see. I forget the number. I'm looking up the number. And it says more than 750,000 people have signed a petition demanding an immediate general election. No, Salakia, that's not it. BRIC card. Salakia. Reading something different. It's Salakia on that. That wasn't what I wanted. All right. So it says, more than 1.6 million signed petition opposing Starmer's plan for digital ID cards. Okay, which there's clearly, which clearly is opposition, but I haven't seen anything as of recent. What I'm looking at here is from the Guardian, and it's dated as of I think it says September 27, 2025. Okay, I haven't seen anything as of late on it. Matter of fact, let me see. Let me check something. Right. So, I'll actually just pull it up on the screen. All right. So this is what I looked up. Yep. There we go. So I typed in, will BRIC card roll out regardless of petitions? Right. And it says yes. The UK government plans to roll out its BRIC card digital system regardless of public opposition, including petitions, as it is being introduced to curb illegal immigration and ensure workers have the right to be in the UK by the next general election. So they're going to roll it out regardless, right? They don't care if you don't want to get it. All right, they don't care if you feel like it's an invasion of privacy. They don't. They're going to make you get it. It's mandatory. While the government acknowledges potential issues such as the need for outreach to digitally excluded individuals, and some political parties have raised concerns about civil liberties and data security, the stated goal is to make the system compulsory for anyone wishing to work in the UK. So, regardless of those petitions, they still plan to roll it out. Okay, and it said nothing you're gonna do about it, buddy. All right, so now let's where are we at? Damn it, I lost it. Yeah, here we go. All right, so let's get back to it. China's been doing the face scans for a while, man. That's one of the most populated places on the earth, and they got cameras every goddamn where. All right. So it says the blueprint we warned about. For years, independent journalists, descendants, and whistleblowers have been sounding the alarm about a coming system of digital control, a future where your access to life is self-conditioned on compliance, where your identity is no longer a right, but a permission slip. All right? So you're not going to be able to do whatever you want to do. There's matter of fact, on the, I'm about to get into this revelation, but there's an episode on a series called Black Mirror, and it's on Netflix, by the way. And I forget the episode, but there was a woman. I believe she had like a brain tumor or something like that, where she was real sick. And what happened is she had went to, and I forget all the details, but she got a chip in her to, pretty much where she can get in a range with certain towers would help pretty much keep her it would pretty much keep her alive, but she had to be within a range of a tower, and they had certain memberships where she could only go so far. If she got past the tower range, within the membership that she had, pretty much her chip would cut off, and she would, appear to be dead. So I say all that to say, to complement what it said here, your identity is no longer a right, but a permission slip. So in order for her to go on a vacation or to go further out, where you had better towers or wider ranging towers, she had to go upgrade her membership. Without that membership, it's like, well, either you get it, you upgrade, or it's pretty much a wrap for you. You know, so this is Esau has been ushering. He's been putting it in the face of the people. You know, very blatantly, man. Okay. So let's get this. All right. Now I'll read this again and I'll get this word. It says in Revelation 13:15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Okay. And when you get into this word kill, okay, which I did make mention of, it says circa 1200 to strike, hit, beat, knock, circa 1300 to deprive of life, put to death, all right, to kill, murder, execute, all right, then you go down. It says to vex, tease, torment, to throw, reach, all right, to pierce. Now also reads right here, it says the meaning, to nullify or neutralize the qualities of, all right, so certain privileges may get cut off. Now, as I mentioned with the 2020 deal, you know, if you didn't have that cure or that Yabawalkie, then no, there were certain places in New York that you couldn't go. They said unless you've been unless you had this Yabawalkie, you can't come in. You know, so it's like you might really need to go into this store, but you weren't able to. Okay, you might really want to go into this restaurant, but you can't. You know, there's conditions. Okay, and you had a lot of people just in order to go places and to leave the house. What did they do? They complied. In order to go back to work, what did they do? They complied. And those who didn't comply, essentially, you were cut off from society. So this is the same thing that this article is talking about, which, you know, that the 2020 was a prelude, man. You know, just for some, cause just building up to something bigger, something more, not well, I'll say more efficient. You know, more efficient to get the control of the people. You know, so you know this is what Esau Edom is rolling out. Okay, let's read a little bit more in this article, and I'm gonna close it down. You know, it says Gil Bates says today that future has a name. Gil Bates has unveiled the global digital ID. According to its designers, it will merge your banking, voting, medical, and vaccination records into one centralized control grid. And if you're non-compliant, you will simply be erased from the system. You know, you're gonna be alienated. You know, you're not going to exist in a sense. All right. Now, going back to this Revelation, verse 13, chapter 13, verse 16, and he calls it all, right? Both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that mark being a physical thing, going into that charagma, something implanted under the skin. And I'll just show it to the screen. You know, starting with the elder apostle Tahar, amongst the rest of the beloved brethren, elders and apostles and bishops, been through this a million times. Charagma. Okay, you see on the screens, a thing carved, sculpture, engraven work, a brand, the mark branded upon horses. So it's a physical thing. All right, straight like that. All right, nothing else. It says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So you're gonna be cut off. You know, ain't no going to the store. We don't use no paper dollars. You got to get this chip. No, we ain't accepting no debit cards. You have to get this chip. You have to get this digital device. Oh, you don't want to get it? Oh, well, I don't know what to tell you. Right? This is the currency. This is the way of life. Right? And they're constantly working on it. And Trump is doing a good job of ushering in these prophecies, and really it's the Lord working through Trump. All right, as it says in Proverbs 21:1, the king's heart is in the hand of the Most High. He turneth it like the waters. He turneth it whithersoever he will. All right, So even with Trump planning to dump this American debt, which is 37 point something and counting, probably north of 38 by now, $1 trillion, and wants to dump it all into Bitcoin. Okay, which is a digital system. Okay, it's going to be used as a reset of the system. All right, and it's already in the works, man. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. But this is something that we need to keep our eyes peeled for. Those of us that are on a watchtower, may we continue to, to keep watching. Okay, and being circumspect and walking as not as fools, because the redeeming the time, because the days are evil. All right. So with that being said, once again, I pray that this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And I want to give double honors to the elders, apostles, and bishops at Great Millstone. Peace, love, and safety is to the elect. Shalom.